Game, batting average, ERA, streaks of success, streaks of failure. NC State's Evan Mendoza is on a hot streak that everybody's talking about. Ken Medlin tells the story.
Evan Mendoza has been an offensive dynamo for NC State. He's hitting .380 in the midst of a 20-game hitting streak, a huge reason why the Pack has been camped out in college baseball's top 10.
This season I've really prided myself in just grinding out every day, making sure I'm doing something every day to better my baseball skills.
And talk about skills, Mendoza's success is even more impressive when you consider how rarely he saw the field last season. Used primarily as a pitcher, Mendoza had a grand total of 3 at-bats without a single hit.
He just came to me last spring, and he started out in the rotation. And he can't, Coach, I just can't pitch it once a week. I just, he said, I want to play.
The answer was a spot in the infield. Mendoza was State's opening day starter at third base, and once he got his chance to play every day, he made the most of it.
You have to be patient in this game. Not everything's going to happen right then and there when you want it to. That's something that I think this past year has taught me.
There's an old joke in baseball that a player hitting below 200 is below the Mendoza line. That's named from Mario Mendoza, a light-hitting shortstop back in the 70s. NC State's Evan Mendoza is redefining the Mendoza line, raising the bar a lot closer to 400. Ken Medlin, WRAL Sports, Raleigh.
All is a numbers game, batting average, ERA, streaks of success, streaks of failure. NC State's Evan Mendoza is on a hot streak that everybody's talking about. Ken Medlin tells the story.
Evan Mendoza has been an offensive dynamo for NC State. He's hitting .380 in the midst of a 20-game hitting streak, a huge reason why the Pack has been camped out in college baseball's top 10.
This season I've really prided myself in just grinding out every day, making sure I'm doing something every day to better my baseball skills.
And talk about skills, Mendoza's success is even more impressive when you consider how rarely he saw the field last season. Used primarily as a pitcher, Mendoza had a grand total of 3 at-bats without a single hit.
He just came to me last spring, and he started out in the rotation. And he can't, Coach, I just can't pitch it once a week. I just, he said, I want to play.
The answer was a spot in the infield. Mendoza was State's opening day starter at third base, and once he got his chance to play every day, he made the most of it.
You have to be patient in this game. Not everything's going to happen right then and there when you want it to. That's something that I think this past year has taught me.
There's an old joke in baseball that a player hitting below 200 is below the Mendoza line. That's named from Mario Mendoza, a light-hitting shortstop back in the 70s. NC State's Evan Mendoza is redefining the Mendoza line, raising the bar a lot closer to 400. Ken Medlin, WRAL Sports, Raleigh.
All is a numbers game, batting average, ERA, streaks of success, streaks of failure. NC State's Evan Mendoza is on a hot streak that everybody's talking about. Ken Medlin tells the story.
Evan Mendoza has been an offensive dynamo for NC State. He's hitting .380 in the midst of a 20-game hitting streak, a huge reason why the Pack has been camped out in college baseball's top 10.
This season I've really prided myself in just grinding out every day, making sure I'm doing something every day to better my baseball skills.
And talk about skills, Mendoza's success is even more impressive when you consider how rarely he saw the field last season. Used primarily as a pitcher, Mendoza had a grand total of 3 at-bats without a single hit.
He just came to me last spring, and he started out in the rotation. And he can't, Coach, I just can't pitch it once a week. I just, he said, I want to play.
The answer was a spot in the infield. Mendoza was State's opening day starter at third base, and once he got his chance to play every day, he made the most of it.
You have to be patient in this game. Not everything's going to happen right then and there when you want it to. That's something that I think this past year has taught me.
There's an old joke in baseball that a player hitting below 200 is below the Mendoza line. That's named from Mario Mendoza, a light-hitting shortstop back in the 70s. NC State's Evan Mendoza is redefining the Mendoza line, raising the bar a lot closer to 400. Ken Medlin, WRL Sports, Raleigh.
Ball is a numbers game, batting average, ERA, streaks of success, streaks of failure. NC State's Evan Mendoza is on a hot streak that everybody's talking about. Ken Medlin tells the story.
Evan Mendoza has been an offensive dynamo for NC State. He's hitting .380 in the midst of a 20-game hitting streak, a huge reason why the Pack has been camped out in college baseball's top 10.
This season I've really prided myself in just grinding out every day, making sure I'm doing something every day to better my baseball skills.
And talk about skills, Mendoza's success is even more impressive when you consider how rarely he saw the field last season. Used primarily as a pitcher, Mendoza had a grand total of 3 at-bats without a single hit.
He just came to me, last spring, and he started out in the rotation. And he can't, Coach, I just can't pitch it once a week. I just, he said, I want to play.
The answer was a spot in the infield. Mendoza was State's opening day starter at third base, and once he got his chance to play every day, he made the most of it.
You have to be patient in this game. Not everything's going to happen right then and there when you want it to. That's something that I think this past year has taught me.
There's an old joke in baseball that a player hitting below 200 is below the Mendoza line. That's named for Mario Mendoza, a light-hitting shortstop back in the 70s. NC State's Evan Mendoza is redefining the Mendoza line, raising the bar a lot closer to 400. Ken Medlin, WRL Sports, Raleigh.
Ball is a numbers game, batting average, ERA, streaks of success, streaks of failure. NC State's Evan Mendoza is on a hot streak that everybody's talking about. Ken Medlin tells the story.
Evan Mendoza has been an offensive dynamo for NC State. He's hitting .380 in the midst of a 20-game hitting streak, a huge reason why the Pack has been camped out in college baseball's top 10.
This season I've really prided myself in just grinding out every day, making sure I'm doing something every day to better my baseball skills.
And talk about skills, Mendoza's success is even more impressive when you consider how rarely he saw the field last season. Used primarily as a pitcher, Mendoza had a grand total of 3 at-bats without a single hit.
He just came to me, last spring, and he started out in the rotation. And he can't, Coach, I just can't pitch it once a week. I just, he said, I want to play.
The answer was a spot in the infield. Mendoza was State's opening day starter at third base. And
all right, welcome in. Hope everyone's having a great day today. This is the Mendoza Line. If this is the first time that you're ever joining in, make sure to drop a baseball emoji down below in the chat. I'm your host, Evan Mendoza. I played 7 years of pro baseball between the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Diego Padres, and I want to be able to share all of that baseball knowledge with you guys. And as you guys know, the very first thing that I'll go ahead and do, I'll actually go ahead and create a new document here. And we're going to change that number up, as we always do, to, that was a little bit too much, we need to actually change up both of these, yeah. Today is episode number 40. We've been streaming strong 40 straight days. At the beginning, it was called Coffee and Baseball. We were doing a morning stream. Now we're doing 7 p.m. Eastern, only on weekdays. So this is Friday. Happy Friday, and hope you guys are having a great day, great start of your weekend. If you guys have any baseball related questions, don't forget to put them down below in the chat. That's why I do these, to make sure that I don't give you guys very vanilla answers with whatever you've got going on, because I know for a fact you guys get plenty of vanilla answers in social media, and that's the big thing that I'm trying to stay away from. So again, guys, if you have any baseball related questions, feel free to ask. Let's go. Rockstar Mama NYC, first timer. If you do want to do a player profile, and this is something that I always keep open throughout the live, there's a couple of things that I'll need to know as far as doing a playing profile. It's basically just a highlight of you or your son, basically where you're currently at, what your metrics are, so I can get a little bit of a better picture on where you're currently at and of course where you're trying to go. So graduation year, positions, 60 time, arm velocity, and exit velocity. This is the typical ones. If you're a catcher, you would need to know also, pop time and things like that. But I'm pretty sure I didn't create a new layer, as I always forget to. It's just like a daily thing. I forget to create a new layer. I like to always keep this guy in the top right as its own individual layer. But guys, if you want me to do a player profile, just go ahead and drop a comment down below with some of those key metrics. That way I know where you're currently at, where you're trying to go, and of course to see if I can even help guide you maybe in the right direction on maybe it's on like a physical bottleneck, maybe it's a mental hurdle, maybe it's on the recruiting side. And I would say that's probably the biggest one for a lot of you guys is, you want to learn a little bit more about how to properly get recruited. And I don't blame you. That's, the name of the game nowadays is to get recruited. And obviously that's going to help you, move the needle forward with everything. So just keep that in mind. Obviously it is important, but I don't want you to lose sight that it's too important. Of course, more important than your physical development, because obviously physical development will always be priority number one. No ifs, ands, or buts. So let's go ahead and get into some content because I like to sometimes just answer your guys' questions, some of the areas. Joel, how we doing? Hope you're doing well. Sometimes like this and that, this or that. So we'll go ahead and get this started. All right. This or that, D1 bench player or D2 starter. And for whatever reason, this is probably one of the more common questions that I get on these lives for whatever reason. You guys have this misconception that if you go to D1, you will absolutely get benched. And in my opinion, that's a very terrible mindset to have. The other argument is if you go D1, you will absolutely play. And in my opinion, neither of those could be true. And of course, both of them could be true. We will never know. But at the end of the day, having this mindset that you're guaranteed to play, I love that mindset, but you're not given anything at the D1, D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA level. You're not given anything. Nothing's going to be handed to you just because you are telling yourself you're going at a lower level. That's not how college baseball works. So for whatever reason, you have this mindset that you will 100% play or you will 100% be benched. These are not the way that college baseball works. So you need to get out of your own head, because at the end of the day, this is what's the reasoning behind you wanting to basically move to a lower level for either you or your son. I've heard it so many times. Well, we've thought about D2, D3, but I don't think my son's really ready, and we're just going to go to a JUCO because that's the way that he's going to actually get some playing time and develop. What gives you that mindset, right? Because what if he goes D2 and actually balls out? He makes a great first impression to these college coaches, and he's a starter his freshman year at a high-end D2. And then he hits the transfer portal and goes to a Power 4. These are all possibilities, but of course, we're into this terrible negative mindset that we can't play D2 or D1 baseball because we will absolutely get benched. In my opinion, you're not going to get necessarily benched. You're not going to necessarily play. This is all just a story you're making up in your own mind. That's where I think it's important to get to work. Hopefully that made sense, because that is probably one of the most common questions that I get every single day. All right, let's do this one. And by the way, sometimes I like to create some short form content as I'm doing these lives because I think it's a really effective and productive time for me. And it's also a way to attract people coming into these lives as well. Depending on school, if it's a good D1 or blowouts, you'll play probably. So no, that's where, in my opinion, you'll play if you're a good baseball player, Joel. So I don't want you to get this mindset that you're going to play at a D2 or if it's a blowout game. Dude, if you're a good baseball player, you're going to play. My freshman year at a D1 baseball program, NC State University, I played until I didn't perform, right? So you have to earn the trust from these college coaches first and foremost to be able to actually get some playing time. And I think that's always going to be the most important thing, is you earn the trust, and the trust is what's going to help you get onto that field. All right, this or that, exit velocity or 60 time. So in my opinion, I would much rather in today's age right now have a higher 60 time. And the reason for that is 60 times are a direct relationship with being a good athlete, right? And we want to be a good athlete at the end of the day, because if we are a good athlete, you're going to be welcomed to play more positions. There's so many times where undersized or overlooked players, but they're more athletic, will get more opportunities to play at the next level because there's more of a variety for them. There's more opportunities for them. If you are slow and you can only play first base, your mobility is trash, you don't really have great range on defense, you're not going to be able to play a premium position like shortstop, second base, or center field. You have to have that ability to be able to be an athlete. And if you have a good 60-yard dash time, you'll have more opportunities to play more positions. All right. We're cranking right now. And this is honestly a lot of fun with you guys. I love being able to share kind of my mindset, my perspective on certain things, because sometimes you might just like hear something one day, one time, and it ultimately resonates with you a little bit more. And that's all I can ever ask for. So yeah. Also, I see here, how dare I, is my LED light. There we go. We're looking better. We're looking better. I think that just makes it pop. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the chat. But I think it just looks a lot cooler. I remember seeing actually, who is it? Todd Frazier. You guys know who Todd Frazier is. Hopefully you guys know who Todd Frazier is. Played for the Reds for a long time, and now he does a lot of content with Foul Territory. It's a content machine basically for baseball. I was hosted on, I was a guest actually, I should say, on Foul Territory, but it's a great show. It's created by baseball players and baseball guys, and I love the conversations that they have. They keep it real. But anyway, I saw that Todd Frazier, he has like a barn that he made into like a really awesome batting cage, and he has a huge MLB LED sign. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I could probably just pull it up for you guys real quick. But let's see. Todd Frazier, big MLB neon logo. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is sick. Let me show this to you guys real quick. Just give me 1 second. Like, honestly, if I had it all, this is what my setup would look like. So this was all the teams that he played for. He played on the White Sox, Yankees, Mets, Rangers. And this is what it looks like at night. Tell me that is not the coolest thing in the world with all the LED lights. He's got turf. He's got the retractable netting. Like, by far, probably one of the coolest setups I've ever seen. Yeah, but I remember being inspired by seeing that. And once I saw the MLB logo, I don't even know what website I was on at the moment, but it was just cool. I was like, yeah, I want that as well. Benton, how we doing? Hope you're doing well. All right. Let's go over another this or that. This is going to be a good one, guys, so stay tuned here shortly for this one. I'm excited to weigh my opinions on this one. All right, let's go. This or that, big-time travel team or a smaller team where you can start. So I don't love the question because where you start, you can start on the scout team, right? You can scout on the national team. You can also start on the local team. But as far as the conversation on travel ball, let's break it up year by year. So, for example, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th. So really what we're talking about is pre-9th grade, pre-10th grade, pre-11th grade, and pre-12th grade. Think about travel ball. All I'm talking about is summer travel ball. So keep that in mind. I'm not talking about fall ball. I'm not talking about preseason ball, winter ball, whatever the case may be, but ultimately summer travel baseball. So this is going to be where you go to the Perfect Game, the PBR, the WWBAs. These are all the big teams and tournaments. But ultimately, which one would I prefer to play on? I'm always going to put myself in the best room possible. And not really the best room, but really be on the best field or be on the best team. Because ultimately, that's going to help push me into the best version of myself. And I think this can be applicable also in like the business world, right? Think about if you're a parent watching this video right now, if you could share the same room as Elon Musk, it doesn't matter if you like him or not. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Any other rich person, Sam Altman, I think he's like the founder of OpenAI and things like that. If you could share a room with those people for a month, think about, are you going to be progressing or are you going to be regressing? I would assume your mindset, the way you think about things, you're going to be probably a lot better of a problem solver because all those people are great problem solvers. You're probably going to move up and to the right. So in the same argument, wouldn't you want to be in that best environment possible to grow and to learn from other people that are doing extremely great things? By the way, guys, I was on that national scout team right before my senior year. So right here is what I'm talking about. This is one of the most critical times in travel ball to be on the best team. I was one of 2 players that was uncommitted. Everyone else was committed to top Power 4 schools. I was one of 2. All right. Now this one, in my opinion, this is where you can play local. This also is where you can play local. And this is honestly like a guarantee. Yes, you should be playing local pre-9th grade season. The only one I would say that you're supposed to be playing like national is right here if possible. And some travel ball organizations will be like, no, you're not going to play on the national team unless you've worked your way up every single year and you've given us money over money. Guys, think about what's best for you and your family depending on what your situation is, because ultimately these years you can get away with playing local and focusing on physical development more than anything. This is the year, without a doubt, this is where I would put myself in the best situation possible and be on that scout team. These TikTok lives would be really great. Try sharing your information there. I'm sure you'll do very well. Dana, so I have tried, so the weird thing is I use this like software, it's called OBS. It's basically a multi-stream platform, so that way I can stream. I am streaming right now. I see you're on Instagram. I'm streaming on Instagram, I'm streaming on Facebook, and I'm streaming on YouTube. I could care less about TikTok, in my opinion. It's kind of weird for me to say that, considering I think it's 350,000 followers over there. It's my biggest channel, technically. But there's like a lot of bots out there, in my opinion, over on TikTok. I know there's a lot of users on TikTok as well. But my typical demographic are going to be mostly the parents that are coming across my page, of course players as well, but that's why I am live on YouTube. YouTube is the best place. If you're coming across my page for the first time, Dana, I can't see your name, I can't put it together, but if you're coming across my page for the very first time, just subscribe to me on YouTube, because that's where I post my best content, and also these lives are also uploaded to YouTube after the fact. So yeah, I love doing like this and that style of content for you guys. It also just kind of like opens up the conversation for you guys to kind of weigh in on your side of things as well. Also, what I was getting to, Dana, so TikTok's really weird. I'm not able to multi-stream using the platform that I'm on. And basically, I can stream on TikTok live. The only problem is I can't use like the iPad demonstration like I am right now, which is kind of frustrating because I want you guys to be able to like actually see what I'm talking about. And yes, without a doubt, there is probably a solution. I haven't come up with it. I'm pretty tech savvy, and I will look for a solution, and I have looked for a solution. I haven't gotten to that stage of actually implementing something. I'm sure there's a way, and when there's a will, there's a way. But of course, I'm not necessarily optimizing for my TikTok channel right now, even though we have over like 340 something thousand followers. I think it's closer to like 349,000, something like that. And that was mostly from my days of posting when I was playing 7 years of professional baseball between the St. Louis Cardinals and San Diego Padres. And just to catch my breath, I'm going to go ahead and roll the first video clip.
Real quick, if you have a son in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade who wants to play college baseball, listen up. At the Mendoza Baseball Academy, I built a triple play with the physical development, mental toughness, and a recruiting system that gets players noticed. And it's 100% remote, so no missed school, no wasted travel, just real results from home while your son works one-on-one with me. Click the link below to learn more and book a call with either myself or a team member today. Real quick, if you have a son...
All right, we're back. All right, so honestly, one of the first things that I was thinking about doing on this stream today and spending some time with you guys here today is I really wanted to watch some World Baseball Classic games. And it's actually funny because Team Colombia is playing against Team Puerto Rico right now. I think they're in like the 4th or 5th inning. I think it's a tie game. I'm not entirely sure. But back in the last World Baseball Classic in 2023, I was part of Team Colombia. That's where my dad's from. I got one at bat. I got a single, so I'm hitting 1,000 in the World Baseball Classic. You came across someone's live today, if you're joining in with me here today, that has a 1,000 batting average in the World Baseball Classic. You can tell your son that you met someone hitting 1,000 in the World Baseball Classic. They're not going to probably know my name, but maybe they will, because a lot of the kids do know my name from the TikTok days when I posted a lot of content over there. But yeah, unfortunately, I could not find for the life of me a site that is streaming. And I also was like on Reddit pages. There's like supposedly like a huge not blackout, but kind of like a blackout. Like I think a lot of you guys know, if you do like the MLB.TV subscription, like they don't of course include the WBC games for whatever reason. But also in that subscription, or not in that subscription, there's just like blackouts, there's huge delays, there's technical errors, and it's just that's happening a lot in baseball. Like, it shouldn't be that hard to watch the game of baseball, but it is, and that's just the way that everything with these TV deals are created. Yeah, watch your metrics, grad year position. We could do some Instagram profile audits. That's something that I always enjoy doing. If you guys ever want me to go over your son's baseball specific Instagram profile, go ahead and drop his handle down below. Use the tvapp.to. Let's see, Joel, if you just helped me out, I'm happy with that. The TV app. Let's see what we got. FS1. Yeah, we can watch some baseball together. Let's see. Ooh. 1-0. Okay, this is what we're doing today, guys. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this.
Trying to deliver here. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. 0-2 pitch. Line to right field. It's down for a base hit. Rounding third base, Ernez. Getting the wave at the bag. Throw not in time. 2-0.
All right. Joined in at a terrible time. Ooh, I need to make sure that you guys can hear everything as well. 'Cause I don't think you guys can hear everything. Can you guys hear everything? I think you guys can hear everything. I'm going to turn the audio down a little bit. Yeah, you guys should be able to hear
Tyler, I
everything.
tell you what, your crowd's chanting your name. You're down 0-2 left on left. You get a hanging breaking ball. And absolutely light this place up. Knocking in that second run, Eddie Rosario.
The appreciation from this fans. Rosario urging them on.
Let's go. Let's go.
As Puerto Rico has busted through here in the top half of the fifth, and now a first and third situation for Matthew Lugo. First one in there for a strike. Got a very different look for Almeida here in this fifth inning after striking out the side, all swinging.
Well, this is the difference too, Tyler. I'd say you got Almeida, who was in
Jose
control that
Mosquera.
last
So
inning,
he
had all that mound
grew up,
presence.
the manager
crowd
for
was out of
the
it,
Colombian
then
team.
all of a sudden it gets
He
a
was
little
also kind of
louder,
like the
the
reason
decibels go
why
up,
I played
your heart rate, your
on
blood
Team
pressure
Colombia.
goes up a little bit.
He helped me get in there. If I was playing on this year, I probably would have been playing. So last time I wasn't playing too much, but he grew up on the same street, or his mom grew up on the same street as my dad, which I thought was a pretty cool family ties, and that is the reason why also he helped me play in winter ball in Colombia for the Caimanes de Barranquilla.
Single back up the middle, and all of a sudden the line moves. Single, error, single. Grounder, tough play left side. Urshela gets a good hop, and that will advance Rosario to scoring position, but it's the first out of the fifth inning.
Yeah, and you're pitching in those situations too, right? Where Urshela doesn't make that play, you feel like you got that out. You're begging for outs, by the way, and so you anchor on that play, and so mentally you're not quite present.
By the way, I want to share with you guys a fun little story. So when the World Baseball Classic was in 2023, we opened up against Mexico, had a great time. It was an unbelievable experience, by the way. The jerseys that Adidas, so Adidas was the sponsor, the jerseys that Adidas gave us were horrendous. They were so terrible. And the funny thing is, like, the pants were straight up a foot longer than my feet, maybe even two. And this was like a day before the the game started against Mexico. Ooh. Why you not playing this year? So I stopped playing after the 2023 season. I hit a couple of injuries, and unfortunately, yeah, it just never really worked out. That was also my free agency year, so I never continued playing. And now I do online baseball training, helping you guys through the college recruiting process and all that fun stuff. So hopefully you guys understand that there's value in doing that. I also enjoy doing it with you guys. Do you need to play travel ball to get recruited by D1 schools? In my opinion, in between that junior year and that senior year, absolutely you should be playing a high level of travel ball, so that way you can get as visible as possible.
Will cut short Almeida's night. Pitching change for Colombia, 3-0 Puerto Rico.
So that's Jose Mosquera. Dang. I wish him the best. He always kept things real with me. It was a little bit frustrating in 2023. I didn't fully enjoy the time. I only got one at bat, and I'm more of a defensive player. Yeah, it is what it is. Still batting 1,000 in the World Baseball Classic. You make the most of every opportunity. I can complain about it, but of course I was in a World Baseball Classic. That's something pretty cool to be proud of. And of course I want to make sure that I'm not living in the past too much and getting frustrated with those types of things. So, all right. So we'll go back to we'll mute this right now. Guys, if you have any baseball-related questions, feel free to ask. Joel, that was a good question, of course. Like, travel ball is important in that specific year, in my opinion, of in between junior and senior year of high school. Like, that's going to give you the best leverage to get in front of the right schools. I always like to say you want to, play on the right field or the right team. And again, playing on the right team, that's that national team, that's that scout team, that's the one that gets the attention from everyone else because they know that they're a nasty team, right? Playing on the right field, you're whatever this team is over here, you're playing against the right team because ultimately there's two teams on every field. You can either be on the right field or on the right team. And usually that attention, guys, it's so needed in recruiting. You have to have attention, and if there's no attention on you, you're probably not going to get necessarily the action you're ultimately looking for. So just keep that in mind. We're gonna go back to it.
Columbia goes to the bullpen again and summons the Cincinnati Reds prospect David Lordui. The 22-year-old out of Cincelejo takes over and inherits a dicey spot. Runners at first and third, one out. And back to the top of the order we go as Puerto Rico sends its 7th batter of the inning to the box. And we already get a pitch clock violation? No, just a clarification between home plate umpire Alex McKay and the reliever David Lordui, who's probably a little bit rattled coming into this.
Absolutely. I mean,
he was sprouted into this environment.
Pitching hit rookie ball not long ago. Coming out of A ball, here he is. Facing Puerto Rico in San Juan.
First pitch fouled away. He did pitch in the qualifiers for Colombia. Just one inning against China. No hits, no runs, struck out a batter, issued 0 walks. Signed with the Reds in 2022. He was named an Arizona Complex League postseason All-Star in 2024. 21 appearances last year between rookie ball and Class A, a 3.78 ERA, 65 strikeouts and 26 walks and 69 innings pitched. Pretty nice season for Lordui. And a liner right field, that's down for a base hit. Could be extra bases for Castro. 4th run of the inning is in. Castro's into second. It's second and third with one out.
All right. So the question was, do you know if there are scouts in the high school state tournaments? So yeah, sometimes there will be. Not so much as the travel ball tournaments. Think about basically there's going to be 2 major tournaments in the summer. Basically there's 2 WWBAs. There's going to be one in East Cobb and then one in the fall time in Jupiter. Those are the hotbed of travel baseball and especially the high level talent. That's going to be where you want to be getting recruited of course, communicating and coordinating with coaches to be able to move the needle.
Secondary pitches out over the plate. Puerto Rico's jumping all over him.
Brian, not only had Puerto Rico not registered a hit in their first 4 innings of the play, they had sent the minimum. It was 12 up and 12 down effectively thanks to a 3rd inning double play as Ramos drives one high and deep out to right center field. Campero back, warning track, reaching out, and he hauls it in. Tagging at 3rd and scoring Maldonado. Castro is into 3rd. Man, oh man, Elliot Ramos was feet away from a game-breaking 3-run shot, but a sac fly brings in run number 5.
I tell you what, this is the biggest part of this ballpark too, going to right center field. That's something he did so well last year. 11 home runs on the breaking ball. I tell you what, Puerto Rico did a good job staying tagged up in that situation. You think to yourself, this is definitely getting by the right fielder. Martin Maldonado coming in to score.
So 2 gone for Arenado. The first pitch is there for a strike to him. Nolan 0 for his first 2 in a Puerto Rico uniform. Popped out to short to end the 1st inning. Struck out swinging to end the 4th. Aiming to deliver the 6th run of the 5th for the host team. 0-2. Arenado coming off 107 games last season with the St. Louis Cardinals, an injury-ravaged campaign, just a .237 average and a .666 OPS. Heading into his first season back in the NL West for the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. 0-2, and a tapper out in front of the plate. Lord Dewey gets to it, and the throw to first. Dug out by Reynaldo Rodriguez. A great job.
All right, so since we're going to commercial break over there, we're going to go commercial break over here, guys. Learn a little bit more about my program, how I work, who I am, and if you guys want to take those next steps, you can definitely do so.
Are you the parent of a high school baseball player dreaming of playing at the college level? Do you want to see your child's potential fully realized, but you feel like the road to getting noticed by college coaches is long, you're uncertain, and expensive? Well, if that's you, this video is going to show you exactly how you can help your child turn that dream into reality without wasting time on generic programs or pricey recruiting services. I'm Evan Mendoza, and for the past 7 years, I've played professionally between the St. Louis Cardinals and San Diego Padres. I've also played D1 ball at NC State while studying aerospace engineering. But here's the thing. I didn't get there by chance, and the players that I've helped along the way didn't get there by luck either. We followed a proven system. Take Ian, for example, who boosted his exit velocity and sprint speed after just a few weeks and just recently committed to play college baseball. Or like Hugo Sagasaki, who's training all the way from Japan, has been consistently improving his performance and has colleges from the US reaching out to him. I'm sharing these stories because this isn't just about making small improvements. It's about making real, measurable progress that leads to life-changing opportunities for your child. And I want you to experience the same results. Here's the harsh truth. Most high school baseball players never get noticed by college scouts. And the reason is because they get stuck in a cycle of generic training programs that don't address their specific needs or showcase their unique talents. They spend hours at the gym or on the field hoping for a breakthrough, but the results just don't come. And worse yet, they miss critical opportunities because they don't have a roadmap to get where they want to go. It's frustrating. You've supported your child through every game, every practice, but there's no clear path to standing out from the thousands of other athletes fighting for the same college spots. Maybe you felt this too, watching your child work hard every single day and still not getting the attention from college scouts. Maybe you've been to showcases and watched other players get offers while your child was being overlooked. Or perhaps you've been feeling the pressure to make the big leap in performance before your child's senior year, but you're not sure what needs to change. It's exhausting, right? Knowing your child has the potential, but not having the right support or strategy to make that leap. The truth is, college scouts don't just want a good player. They want someone who's prepared mentally, physically, and is also educated. Someone who stands out from the rest and can prove they've got what it takes. And I get it, I have been there. I played at the highest levels alongside guys like Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, Yadier Molina, and even Albert Pujols. And one thing that sets apart those players isn't just their talent, it's how they prepare and position themselves for success. And that's exactly what I'm here to help your child with. I've developed the Triple Play system, a 6-month program designed specifically for your high school baseball player who wants to become a college prospect. This isn't just another training program. It's a complete roadmap tailored for your child's needs and goals. It's like having a personal coach, a mentor, a college advisor, and even a scout all rolled up into one. guiding your child every step of the way. The triple play system breaks down into 3 core components. Their physical development. We focus on what your child needs to improve, whether it's increasing his exit velocity, refining his fielding skills, or improving his speed. Every weakness becomes a strength. His mental development. This game isn't just physical. It's mental too. We help him build the mindset and resilience needed to perform under pressure, especially when college scouts are watching. And lastly, the recruiting strategy. We'll create a personalized game plan to get your child noticed. From showcases to direct outreach, we'll ensure your child is on the radar to top colleges by the end of this program. So what does that mean for your child? It means real results. It means walking into their next showcase knowing they've made the measurable improvements. It means having a solid recruiting plan in place that pulls them in front of the right scouts at the right time. And most importantly, it means your child is no longer just another player. They're a top prospect. But beyond that, think about the pride that you'll feel when you hear your child's name called by a college coach offering a college scholarship. Imagine the look on their face when they see all their hard work finally paying off. And picture them stepping onto a college field, knowing they've earned that spot. This is more than just getting better at baseball. It's about securing your child's future, building their confidence, and creating opportunities that will shape the rest of their life. If you're ready to give your child the best shot at earning a college scholarship and becoming the player that scouts can't ignore, I'd love to talk with you personally. But here's the catch. We only work with a small number of athletes at a time because this program is highly personalized and one-on-one. That means spaces are limited. We open up just a few spots each month to parents who are serious about seeing real, measurable progress in their child's game. If you want to finally see your child stand out at showcases and attract the attention of college recruiters, then now is the time to act. Here's what I need you to do. Scroll down to the calendar below and book a call with me today. On this call, we'll go over your child's current challenges, their specific goals, and determine if they're even a good fit for the triple play system. And remember, we've helped over 50 athletes like your child improve their game and secure interest from college coaches. So if you want to be the next parent to see your child's hard work finally pay off, don't wait. These spots fill up fast, and once they're gone, I won't be opening up new ones until the next group finishes. If you're serious about giving your child the edge that they need to compete at the next level, scroll down and book a call with me now. This is your opportunity to change the course of your child's future. I'm looking forward to helping them become the player that college coaches are excited to recruit. But remember, this program is not for everyone. It's only for athletes who are ready to commit to making real progress and achieving real results. So if that's you and your child, book the call now, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Are you the parent of a high school baseball player dreaming of playing at the college level? Do you want to see your child
All right, we're back. Guys, if you have a baseball-related question, ask, because that's the only way that I can give value to you specifically. Yes, I'm talking about you. If you are listening to this live right now, we have a few over on Instagram, a few over on Facebook, and more than a couple over on it looks like we got a few, over on YouTube. Guys, the Puerto Rico-Colombia game just came back, but honestly, it's not looking good for Colombia. It's okay, though. It's okay. But yeah, I want to make sure that this is as valuable to you guys as humanly possible. Again, the only way that we can do that is if you guys actually ask those questions. If you don't have any questions that you can ask, I can, of course, just start going through some questions that have been previously asked. But of course, I like to always prefer that you guys do questions directly. So, what was that? Coco probably just got scared right now. That was funny. All right, so let's do some rapid fire questions. We're gonna give myself 1 minute to answer each question. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and actually just turn off the game, and we're gonna finish up strong with you guys. So let's get it started. All right, my son is a 2026 shortstop, running a 6'9", 60, 90 exit velocity, and 87 arm velocity. What level should we be targeting? So with these numbers, 6'9", 60, 87 arm velocity, 90 exit velocity, ideally this is the biggest one, right? If we can get that closer to 100 miles an hour off the tee with a wood bat, that's going to put us closer to that D1 level, right? Because 87 arm's pretty solid. You can definitely get away with playing Division I baseball with an 87 arm. A 6'9", 60, it's good enough. It more matters your lateral quickness more than anything, especially when you're playing a primetime position like shortstop. I'm curious what your height and weight are as well, because that's going to give me a better picture. But assuming you're 6'1", 175-ish pounds, like this is a D1 caliber player as long as we take care of the performance, because performance trumps all metrics, and of course getting it done when it actually matters more than anything. All right, that was one question. We're just going to try to like rapid fire these as much as possible. So my son's a 2026 pitcher sitting around 84 to 86. Is that recruitable? Yes, without a doubt. So I have a buddy that's at a D3 program that have pitchers throwing straight up 78 to like 83. It's not necessarily the biggest or most known D3 program, but if you're 84, 86, you can without a doubt play college baseball. And you'd be surprised if you can actually throw strikes. And if you're a good pitcher, because at the end of the day, if you are a pitcher, you need to have that pitchability, which means if this is the strike zone, we need to be able to throw inside to a righty, right? If this is a lefty, we need to be able to paint inside. We also need to be able to pitch ideally 2 to 3 pitches with command, dropping them into the zone, because that's what's going to help you actually get recruited. And by the way, this range, you might think it's crazy that I say that that is possible to play D1, but my freshman year all the way through my junior year of college, before I got drafted by the Cardinals, guys, our Friday night ace at the D1 level in the ACC at NC State was a 5'9" lefty, 150-ish pounds, and threw about 85 to 87 miles an hour, which is roughly in that range, and he was our ace. It's not like he was a bullpen guy. It's not like we brought him in blowout games. He was our best pitcher because he knew how to pitch. He did have 3+ pitches. His changeup was disgusting. I'll never forget playing third base behind him. He threw a changeup, and then he struck out a batter on the next pitch on a fastball, and I kid you not, it looked like it was 98 miles an hour, and the hitter made it look like it was 98 miles an hour as well, because he knows how to ding, 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 pitch. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Not everything, but of course having velocity enough to be able to make hitters off balance. That's what's going to ultimately showcase the most in the performance out there on the mound. All right, that was another question. We're going to spitfire. We've emailed around 40 schools, but only 2 responses. Is that normal? So first and foremost, are we tracking our metrics on our email side of things? Just like we know what our average looks like if we're hitting 400 or if we're hitting a $120, those are 2 very different things as far as the conversation on performance, right? Performance matters in your batting, in your gameplay, but it also matters in your emails right here, which is the topic of this question, right? So I wouldn't be worried too much about your responses. I'd be worried more on the engagement with these 40 emails. So we already know that 2 of them engaged in some capacity with the response, but how many of them opened, how many of them clicked, because this is ultimately the engagement that can equate to a retargeting list throughout the summer ball circuit. We're coordinating times for a college coach to be able to watch us play, and that's what's ultimately going to lead to more interest, more offers, and more scholarship money. All right. We're going to just keep on going. All right, my son is a 2027 catcher with a 205 pop time. Is that on track? In my opinion, I would want to be somewhere closer to a 1.8 to 1.9 to give myself the best opportunity to not only earn a scholarship, but guys, there's only one catcher out there on the field. I want to be the starting catcher. I just don't want to be the third string. I don't want to be benched until my junior or senior year in college, because ultimately, once you land that scholarship, I hate to break the bad news to you guys, but it doesn't give you the automatic right that you're going to be a starter at that specific university. So without a doubt, I would always be, especially for 2027, if by probably like the middle to end of this summer, if we can get closer to this range, that's going to make it a lot more attractive from these college coaches, but it's not the only thing. The pop time, it's just an overall gauge on your arm strength. It's an overall gauge on how quick you're able to catch and release a ball. But the things that catchers ultimately need more than pop time is, framing, receiving, these are things, and basically like an overall like presence as well, right? If you have those things, that's going to matter a lot more than your pop time. But yes, you do need to be a defensive catcher first more than an offensive catcher. In my opinion, that's, way more valuable to the team to be a defensive catcher more than anything. But of course, like how you receive, how you block, these are all things that are really important for the catcher role more than just a specific time number. It is one of the more glorified numbers as a catcher, and it is important to have a good pop time, but it's not the end all be all. All right. By the way, guys, if you have any baseball related questions, feel free to ask. That's why I'm doing these. I want to make sure that I give you guys as good of a baseball knowledge as possible. And happy Friday, guys. If you guys are interested also to work one-on-one with me inside my remote training program, you can always do that. If you're on YouTube, in the first link down below in the description, there's also going to be a link, I believe, to add this live to your calendar, because I know your guys' schedules get ultra crazy. So I made it super easy in like 2 clicks. You'll add it to your add it to your Google Calendar, so that way it's just that much easier to remember. Maybe even watch these lives with your player or with your your son or with your parent. But also these are recorded and uploaded to YouTube, so make sure to subscribe to me if you're on YouTube if you haven't already. All right. We'll get back right into it. All right, a coach said, keep us updated. What does that actually mean? And I can't tell you the amount of times that I emailed a college coach and I received this as a response when I was going through the college recruiting process before landing multiple D1 offers and ultimately choosing to play at NC State University. Guys, when you're going through the college recruiting process, when they say keep us updated, that means keep us updated. That means follow through with basically the trust that you will earn from these college coaches if you do what you say you're going to do. So if a college coach says keep us updated, basically what you should do in your calendar or as a reminder in your phone, whatever route that you want to take, create a reminder in 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. And ultimately, if we do these things and we basically have the reminder named, follow up with coach whoever, and we name these the same thing right here and right here, guys, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to basically build a conversation in this 30-day, the 60-day, or the 90-day range. And by the way, what should we include in these follow-up emails? Guys, showcase the progression that's happening in your development. Guys, if you're throwing 81 miles an hour on day 0, right? Ideally by day 90, we should be at least like by 83, right? For example, because if we're throwing 81 and we're still at 81, we're still like, just basically plateauing. These college coaches want to see how good of a problem solver you are. And at the end of the day, if your 60 time, for example, is a 7.6, 90 days later, we should have that down to like a 7.4 or something of that nature. We need to showcase that progression and ultimately make it known to them that we have our eyes set on these metrics and ultimately to become the best baseball player we can possibly be. By the way, guys, if you have like a this or that, or if you have a specific question, again, feel free to ask. That's what I like to do on these lives. All right. Should we focus more on showcases or development? And in my opinion, this is kind of a stupid question because these two are not even supposed to be in the same category. Showcases are typically 1 to 2 day events. The purpose of these showcases is truly to get metrics. In my opinion, you can get your metrics in a 30-minute span at your local facility as long as they have HitTrack, Rapsodo, TrackMan, etc. So you're getting your metrics, you're getting a profile created on one of these profile apps or, showcase databases like a Perfect Game, but it's not even in the conversation of development because they're not there to teach you anything. They're there to ultimately give you a grade and give you your metrics. That's all that they're there for. They're not there to teach you a single thing. So when we're talking about development, what I like to talk about with player development, there's multiple different areas. There's physical, and that's basically in the gym, getting bigger, stronger, and faster. There's skill work, anything that involves a ball. There's also the mental side. There's also the nutrition, and there's also the leadership. And some of these areas is definitely an area of focus of what I teach my students inside my Mendoza Baseball Academy. So go ahead and comment the word apply if you want to work one-on-one with me. All right. And by the way, guys, if you are interested in working one-on-one with me, you can always click the link in my bio on Instagram. You can also click the link down below in the description if you are on YouTube. And again, guys, I love doing these lives. The only way that these lives grow, by the way, for those that are listening in right now, is to tell a friend to tell a friend, guys. It's that simple. I do this because I never had that coach giving that guidance out there. And I was always looking for it. I always had my hand, stretched out, and I was like, hey, I need this help, I need this help, but there wasn't anyone to truly help me. So that's the reason why I like to do that, do these lives, is to ensure that you guys have the coach that I never had, and I want to be that coach that I never had, right? Especially when we're talking about the college recruiting process, which the NCAA landscape is changing like every single day, it seems like. So I want to make sure that we have that understanding on like how we can better go about it. So we have that understanding moving forward. But yeah, showcases and development. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. If you have any like feedback for me on how I'm explaining some of this stuff, feel free to ask. By the way, I do stream every single day at 7 p.m. weekdays, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I found that maybe you guys like it better. I'm not entirely sure. I used to do a show basically called this is the Mendoza Line. I used to do coffee and baseball. I used to sip on my coffee, talk to you guys. In the morning, that was usually at 11 a.m. Eastern time. But, all right, let's get into another one. All right. Other kids in his recruiting class are committing. Are we behind? So typically this is going to be more for the juniors and seniors in high school. They're already on varsity and they're already in somewhat of communication with a potential couple of schools, maybe local schools, maybe D3 schools, maybe JUCO, maybe some D1 schools that have told you I'll keep us posted. Either way, if you're feeling behind, guys, this is really coming into the aspect of FOMO, feeling missing, feeling like you're going to miss out on something, right? So I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story. When I was in high school, I had a really solid group of baseball players that grew up with me. We took baseball extremely serious, and we also played in a hotbed in Sarasota, Florida. And I remember there was about 10 of us, and there was like 1 or 2 of them that committed extremely early my junior year of high school. And I remember thinking to myself, you're better than that. Like you could play at a better university, but you want to tell everyone that you're committed. And yes, it's a very a fun experience to say that you're committed and you sign your NLI, and you have like just the excitement around you. You're buzzing, right? But the thing is, like, there's so many more opportunities after that first opportunity, that first offer, that a lot of people won't tell you. What they won't tell you is basically there will be more opportunities after that first one because that first domino has officially fell. So because maybe you haven't accepted an offer or you haven't committed yet or you don't have an offer, don't feel like you're behind. I landed my scholarship right before my senior year of high school, which I felt was very, very late. And everyone's timeline on development and recruiting is going to change. But I do believe if you have the desire to play college baseball, there will be an opportunity for you to play. But don't feel behind. If anything, just focus on your physical development, but also focus on the things that we do have control on, like emailing college coaches consistently, because that's going to move the needle the most. And if you need any help with that, you can go ahead and comment the number 7 down below. And I'm going to send you over my 7 steps on how to reach out to college baseball coaches the right way in under an hour a week. And by the way, that should be down below in the description as well if you're on YouTube as well. All right, we'll do one more question and then wrap things up, guys. This one, I will kind of just keep it laid back. If you had to focus on one thing this off season, so I don't love thinking about the off season this early because it's like already that we're giving up on this season. But if we had one thing to focus on this off season for recruiting, what would it be? Okay, for recruiting. So if we're talking about off season as far as after the high school season and before like travel ball, I'll accept this question as like that's the off season when we all know that this is in season as well. But as far as the goal, and this is where it's difficult, right? Because we have August 1st over here, right? And we want to be prepared for right here because this, for example, for like a junior is really, really important. It's kind of like that midterm exam. If you don't do the homework, if you don't do the studying, you're not going to be prepared. But if we're talking about after the high school season, let's just say for a sophomore, right? This is where we can be emailing college coaches, and that would be my focus, is making sure that we have direct communication. I've heard it so many times. We're not talking about like field level. We're not talking about NCSA because these are all platforms that make you pay a lot of money to use their database when ultimately what they're trying to have you do is that's you, and this is a coach, right? They're trying to say, hey, we are this triangle right here. You have to go through us to reach a college coach. That's not how it works, guys. Email, social media, you are here, the coach is here, you can go directly to the coach. And of course, that might be intimidating, and it should be intimidating because if you're doing the wrong way, these college coaches will, number one, know that you're not doing it the right way because you're very unprofessional. You don't include the right assets or metrics, and you're just going to get ghosted. That's what's ultimately going to happen if you try doing it by yourself and you just spam these college coaches, whether it's on social media or through email, and you don't include the right things. It's kind of like a job interview. Guys, if you just, are trying to separate yourself from the rest by creating a really cool hype video, that's not the way to do it. It's the overall experience. Think about like if you were in a position to be able to hire someone and you had a whole stack of resumes, you're not just looking at the resume, but you're also looking at every possible interaction that you've had with that person to ultimately give you the best picture on who they are and what they're going to provide you, within your team, in your work, or on a baseball field, right? So that's the way that I want you guys to think about this, especially if you're a parent of a high school baseball player, especially if you're a parent of a varsity high school baseball player. Guys, this is the leverage time right now because we can't play high school baseball forever. So if you guys are interested in working one-on-one with me, you can always click the link down below in the description to book a call with myself to go over your son's situation and build out a game plan to make sure that he's not left in the dust. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys back over on Monday. Again, 7 o'clock Eastern time, weekdays. I love doing these things. I love interacting with you guys. Make sure to share them with everyone. Make sure to subscribe to me over on YouTube because that's where these are always going to be uploaded after the recording. This was episode 40, and I'll see you on the next one.
To you, I could see how he became more confident after talking to you every time. You were always there when he needed. I think it's really important to know or be told from someone professional like you.
It was a completely new experience for us. I think we were skeptical. We dove into some of the content. We realized how good it was and the quality of it. The way that you kind of worked with him and you set expectations for him, like, hey, these are the things I'm expecting from you, and that was a big part of why we enjoyed the program as well.
The program has made me like a little eagerness to go out and do something and not just like wait for the team practice and do things on my own.
As his dad, I can tell him till I'm blue in the face that this needs to be done. And sometimes it doesn't resonate coming from the dad. Sometimes it needs to come from a pro ball player.
Through your program, I just realized like how much more I could learn. You can just feel the improvement over the course like of 4 or 5 months, like you said. With you being able to supply me with this type of structure, I'm able to just learn for myself and learn how to improve by myself, which makes me feel a lot better as well as a lot more accomplished in the end.
I definitely recommend joining it. It's awesome. The community's great. Having you there to support you is incredible, and overall love the program.
You get the full structure. You get your lifting, you get your arm velocity, you get your mechanics, you get your hitting, and the hands-on approach from you.
Infield velo was 68 or something like that. It was not good. My 60-yard dash was 7.7, which is not good. And I was not very mobile. I wasn't very strong. I mean, I'm a big kid, but a lot of it was just like from my size. My infield velo now is 80, and my 6-yard dash is 70.
It's insane. What was the root cause for all that?
I mean, it was just staying consistent with the program. I think just I had to really stay on, focus on the path that I was trying to get. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to become elite. I was trying to get better. I know the stats at the time. I was like, oh yeah, that's not that bad. But going back and looking, that's not where I should be to play at the next level. Staying consistent with the program really helped me through that time.
I feel like now I'm really like dialed in into what I'm doing. So when I do it, it's just like this before, like you talked about earlier, like it's just coming in naturally.
That felt good. I mean, it gave me my confidence shot up. I think you should join in. You do a really good job of replying back to messages, and you're really fast to help out other people with like coaching and their swings. You're a pretty good coach.
Hitting improved, lifting improved, velocity went up, speed went up, everything in general went up. Before joining, I tracked my 60 time and I was running a 8.22, and then after a while, I did a showcase, and then I ran a 7.08.
What do you think leading cause for that? That's a crazy jump.
Probably mobility and probably the exercises that you have in your academy that allow for growth in those little tiny muscles that people forget about.
I could tell I was hitting the ball a little bit harder, and then it got better and better and better, and then my speed picked up with the sprinting training and all that, and I was just getting a lot better. But before that, it was not super good. I've definitely picked up on my hitting velo. Before I joined the program, my velo was 72 off the bat, and at this showcase, I hit 80.
That's insane, dude.
No, so when I first saw your program, you were talking about how to get to college and how to get D1 and get recruited and all this, and that had me super interested because, you know, I'm trying to go D1 and everything, try to get a scholarship and all this, and your program definitely talks about it and helps you walk through it and get you started. Honestly, I would say, like, the program definitely helped me a lot, you know, helped me work through some things, get my visualization for games and all that, just get me prepared.
Obviously, like, my program's remote. Like, have you had any trouble by doing the work that I provide you?
Not at all. It's right in front of you. You know, so it's super easy to get. Search it up, find it, and start working.